Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, really wanna know.
Hey guys, thank you so much for stopping by my channel and hanging out with me for another video. So today's video is going to be part 2 of my 2020 whole life reset. So last week I posted a video where I've just been basically going through and resetting my life, decluttering, cleaning, organizing. I mentioned in that last video that I had resigned from my 9-to-5 corporate job and I'm going to be just looking at doing YouTube full-time for the next few months. So this is part 2 where I will be decluttering the second half of my house. I think there's probably going to be a third part to this series which I might post in another week where I'm just going to be decluttering things like my desktop, my mobile phone and all that kind of digital behind the scenes declutter. Part 1, if you haven't seen part 1 yet, I will link it in the description box and up here on the screen. Hope you enjoy it and let's get decluttering, cleaning and organizing.
And I really wanna know, really wanna know. If I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down.
So basically what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just going through my kitchen, all the drawers and just some things where in the last couple of months, you know, things have just gotten a little bit built up, a bit out of hand. Just wanting to go through and make sure that everything that is in my space, because obviously it is quite a small kitchen, just need to keep on top of it and make sure that things just aren't creeping up, you know, that clutter creep that can get, you know, on top of you pretty quickly if you don't keep on top of it. So just going through and clearing out some space, making sure that all the available space that I've got is just being really well used. And just making a few tweaks along the way. So as I have purchased some new storage containers and a few more things for the kitchen in the last couple of months, obviously when you've got limited space, if you bring something in, you've got to get rid of some other stuff. So that's just what we're doing at the moment. Now the first thing that I really wanted to do was get a little bit of a declutter through my utensils, and previously I've had everything kind of jammed in here and it's not the greatest user experience when you go to take something out. Obviously if it is too full and too cluttered, you're going to be, you know, pulling one thing out to use and everything's going to come out flying out. So I've pulled out everything that I use on a very, very regular basis and put it here and removed anything that is bulky or that, you know, gets caught up and just popped it into the drawers. So I'll see how that works. The great thing with organizing is if you try something and you switch it up, if it doesn't work, you just switch it back. It's no big deal. It's not like I'm buying any new organizers or anything. I'm just working with exactly what I have. I really like this. This is actually a vase or like a pot plant holder that's from Kmart. It's kind of like a really light blush pink. And I just find that it's a little bit bigger than normal utensil holders. So it holds a little bit more without it being too restrictive. So I'm just going to pop this back. Throughout my kitchen I use these organizers a ton. So these are from Kmart and they are the plastic divided organizers. They come in a whole range of sizes. This is the narrow and low, so you can get ones that are higher, which I use down in my shelves down here, and I also have the bigger version which I use in my larger storage drawer down there. They are fantastic because obviously you can move the dividers and you can use them for a ton of things. So I use these for like cleaning cloths, plastic storage containers. I use them for my kids' snacks and I use them to just kind of corral all of my food storage containers as well down in that cupboard, which I'll show you in a sec when we get to decluttering that.
Jumping from cliffs so high.
So just a little tip when you've got sticky label residue, I find that using eucalyptus oil is the easiest way. So I've just basically soaked it like with a wet cloth on top and removed like the plastic and paper bit. And now just to get that sticky residue off, just kind of dissolves it, and then you just buff it away. It's like literally the best and easiest thing. I don't know why it's taken me this long to figure out how to get rid of sticky labels, because honestly they are the worst. So like you can see there, that has taken like literally 2 seconds to get rid of it. Very cool.
Trusting our wings to fly.
And then obviously once you're done, just give it a wash, because obviously if you're keeping food type things, because it is eucalyptus oil, and although you can use it like to disinfect and like as an antibacterial cleanser, it's probably still wise just to give it a wash.
Times we're crashing down, but we get up and start from.
So while I haven't really managed to get rid of a lot of stuff for donating or just throwing away because it's just old and broken, I think that just the fact that I've gone through and rearranged everything and been putting everything into, you know, spaces that just make a little bit more sense with how often I use things, and just with the placement of where the things are. So obviously things like baking materials, I don't really bake very often, just when my kids have birthdays or like for special occasions and things. And then these little sushi molds, we make sushi. While we do make them quite often, it's not something that I'm going to be grabbing for every day, so I'm happy for these to be like on the bottom level of this stackable storage system. Of if you've got narrow long spaces like I've got, you can really take advantage of all the storage space that you've got by utilizing this kind of stackable storage system. And there's another sticker on the front of this one, so of course I'm going to take that off.
The ground. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs.
So that is that stack done. Now I've got this one freed up because I took all the baking kind of stuff and popped it into this sort of less frequently accessed storage solution. But this one I use quite often, like this, and measuring cups and funnels and things. So I just wanted those to be able to be easily accessed just from grabbing from the top. And then when I want to use, you know, any of this less frequently used stuff, like I said, the sushi molds, the kind of baking supplies, I don't mind just taking that out because it's only once in a while. And these just sit around just in these really narrow cupboards. So in the top shelf I've just got my soda stream and the refills behind, and then I've just got a super large pack of baking paper, which I am just trying to use up because it's too big and bulky. And then just sitting behind that I have got some baking trays that are just standing up because, like I said, I don't really bake that often. And then these storage containers will go down in the bottom down there, but I'm just going to give it a quick wipe out because I can see it's got some crumbs in it.
You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high.
Alright, so moving on to the next part of my kitchen that I really want to get organized, and that is my food storage container drawer, which is down there. And now this has been a number of different things, but at the moment I'm using it for my food storage container drawer. And I have purchased quite a few new food storage containers to try over the last couple of months. And while I've been trialing them, obviously I haven't wanted to get rid of anything that I've had previously, just in case the new things didn't work out exactly according to plan. So now I'm going to grab everything out and really go through it and decide what I'm going to keep, what I'm going to give away. So yeah, let's get started.
Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
And again, these are those same Kmart containers, which are just awesome with the dividers that make it really great. So I've previously used this to hold like my kids' lunch boxes and drink bottles and stuff, which is perfect for this kind of size. Like you can literally use these things for a ton of stuff. And yes, there's another label, but I think for this one I'm just going to leave it in there because I'm just about out of eucalyptus oil and I really can't be bothered today because I just want to get this done and get it edited and filmed it up for you guys. So we're just going to have to live with the label. These are the Kmart food storage containers, which I bought a couple of months ago now. I ordered these actually online. My very first online Kmart order at the start of lockdown and isolation. And I really love them, but they are not dishwasher friendly. So when you put them in the dishwasher, even on the top shelf, the plastic kind of warps. So I don't know, like literally everything in my house has got to be dishwasher friendly or I am not about that hand washing life. So I think I am going to just pop these in the charity because they're in perfect condition. I've managed to kind of reshape them. Like they didn't get massively out of shape, but just enough to be like, I don't want to be hand washing these on a regular basis. So I think I'm just going to add those to the charity collection. And then someone else can get good use out of them. If they've got the patience and time for hand washing, well, cheers to them, but I certainly do not. So I think I would just pop these back on. The other thing I was like, even when they were brand new, they were a little bit tricky to get the closing mechanism just right. They were really good though, so I wish there was like a slightly higher quality version of exactly this, because I did buy these ones from InterDesign, which are really good and the quality is really good, but they're not like totally airtight, because you can see they've got those kind of little holes and things. And the lady at the Howard Storage World told me that it's because when you've got fruit and veg, the gases have to be let out, which is reasonable and fair enough. But if you use it to store anything that is cut up, obviously it's not going to last as long. So this is great for storing like whole fresh produce. So things like capsicums or peppers or zucchini or anything that is like whole and not chopped up. But definitely when you do chop things up, they are not the way to go. So you're definitely better off with things like either mason jars, which are my all-time favorite food storage container. It's just that they are so small, you're limited with what you can hold, or else something that is completely sealed up, like these glass lock containers where you put in your prepped food and then you just lock it up. So I guess it's like anything, just trial and error to see what works. And you know what, if it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. You just pass it on to charity and someone else will get good use out of things that just didn't work for you. All right, so now we've got everything out. God, I bought these meal prep containers so long ago and I just haven't used them. I don't think you can give like single use kind of things like this though to charity, so I might just, I don't know, use them up for my kids' lunch boxes or something. I mean, they're not exactly single use, they are reusable, but they're not, you know, they're like kind of takeaway containers. All right, so I've got to find a use for that because I'm obviously not just going to let things go to waste. Let's have a look at how this one turned out. So I've just gone through, gotten rid of everything that I don't want, and just organized it a little bit better and nice and neat. So I've got my fridge storage containers. These ones are fridge storage containers also. Just some lunchbox liners I guess I can use now for my kids just to get them used up. These are the silicone containers that I bought. These are fantastic. I'm not sure why, but I thought this was glass actually when I bought them on Amazon. I thought it was glass with a silicone lid. It's actually plastic, but it is BPA free. So I use this for like cheese and cold cuts and like deli meats and things in the fridge when I take it out of the packaging that it comes in. And these are really good. I do need to go grocery shopping, which is why all of my food storage containers are out here and not actually in the fridge. And then I've just got some spare pantry containers. that are just waiting for refills. Just keep my kitchen scales in here just because it is just kind of the perfect size to keep it nice and neat. But that is pretty cool, and I'm liking how that's turned out. Everything has its own little spot, its own home. It's all kept in space with those dividers, which are so good. They're really affordable. I think Kmart have said that they are going to be doing a full restock. It's because they are really low on stock with COVID-19 at the start of July. So if you are looking to pick these up, they will be restocking in Kmart soon, which I can highly recommend to use throughout your house in organization. So I know this isn't exactly organizing, but I have started again recycling all of our soft plastic waste. So now whenever I do the grocery shopping and I pull everything out into containers, I just put all of the empty packaging into here. Obviously it's got to be clean and not like anything that's touched meats or anything like that. But if it's just, you know, like the packaging, outer packaging for further packaging in, and it was actually through watching my YouTube videos that I noticed how much single-use packaging we do go through, which sometimes, you know, you can't always help it when you've got kids and snacks and general grocery shopping and whatnot. So at our local supermarket, they do have plastic recycling facilities, which they've opened up again. So back into the plastic recycling. Obviously it's not the type of plastic that you can just put in your regular recycling, like your plastic containers, drink bottles and things. This is specifically, you need to drop it off to a soft plastic recycling facility, which most supermarkets in Australia now do. So I would definitely recommend, you know, it doesn't take that much extra effort to just put aside a bag, and then just when you do go through all of your plastics, just stuff it in, and then when you go back to the grocery store, which I'm going to be doing today, just take it back with you and drop it into their recycling. So you can do, you know, a little bit. Now I know it's kind of looking a little bit messy on the kitchen bench, but it's just, you know, as you're decluttering, you're going to make some mess. So I'm just going to box all this stuff up that's going to charity. I did last week already go through, and I went through all of my cookbooks up there. And I did already put into the charity box a whole bunch of cookbooks that I just haven't used in many years. So there's no point them just being up there for decoration or gathering dust. Literally you couldn't even see them because they were stacked behind the ones that I do use anyway. So they've already gone. I've already gone through that one pass and looking at potentially getting rid of a few more bits and pieces, but just waiting till my kids come home because some of it is theirs, some drinking mugs, and I just want to make sure that they're all good with it being passed on to charity. You know, I'm not just going to make that decision for them. So found another couple of things, and I already did ask my kids. So obviously when you go to the cinema and watch movies, sometimes your popcorn and drinks come in these collectible cups. They've had it for a while. It's still in perfect condition, but we don't use it anymore. So that is going to go and pass on to someone who is potentially a Star Wars fan, which we all are, but you know, you can't keep everything forever. What else needs to get done? This. One thing that I know it's going to probably irritate a lot of people to see all this plastic here, but you know, like when you order Uber Eats and takeaway and things, now the one thing that I like about Uber Eats is that you can request no cutlery to come with your food deliveries. So if you have that option, I would highly recommend just, you don't need it, but then I just keep this to use up. So I will put this in my kids' lunch boxes, for example, when they take their lunch to school. Just so obviously they're not taking our silverware or cutlery, which often will not get returned. So at least if it's disposable plastic, they can use it up. And then just make sure that in the future, not bringing it to the house in the first place, so then we don't get stuck with, you know, a whole bunch of single-use plastic. Okay, so like, what am I going to do with all these bloody sushi chopsticks? I'm going to be up for a new cutlery organizer when we move out of here, because those stains are not coming out. So what I like to do in my cutlery drawer is just double stack 2 cutlery organizers on top of each other. And I shared this in one of my small home organizing ideas videos. So I put things that I don't really use very often in the bottom layer. So things like cheese knives that you kind of only use when you're sort of entertaining. Really particular kind of things. And I've gone through and I have decluttered a whole bunch of these kind of little cake forky things. I think they're honestly from when I used to have a cafe. Many years ago I used to own a cafe, so I've got lots of these little kind of cake forks and these kind of long soda spoons. Honestly, we don't use them, we're not that fancy here, we don't need to use little teeny tiny cake forks, so I'm going to pass those on to charity also. And then just stock up this with the things that I hardly ever use. So this is like a vacuum pump for the magnetic knife strip that you can attach to the wall without nails. This is the vacuum pump that goes with it. Obviously I don't use it that often, only if I need to move it. So it's fine to be in this kind of lower long-term storage. And then just freeing up the top shelf for things that you really use on a daily or weekly basis. So that you can have everything that you need to use and access quickly and easily without it being all cluttered up. And then that just takes up the top shelf and it just sits in there. And this is just an expandable cutlery organizer, which I think was from Kmart, but you can pick these up literally anywhere. And then that just sits on the top, so it effectively doubles the storage if you are limited for storage space in your kitchen. And that's it, done. So that is pretty much it for the declutter of the kitchen. So I've already done a massive fridge and freezer clean out and declutter a couple of videos ago, so you can go back and watch that if you like. Everything else is pretty much under control. The pantry, I keep, obviously I don't keep a lot of stuff because it is quite small, so the turnover is really frequent. So that doesn't need a declutter. And with the dishes and everything that's in the rest of these drawers, I've replaced all of our dishes since we've moved here, so within the last year and a half or so. So they are all good. And then just sitting in the drawers here, as you can see, just bring it over so hopefully you can see. So then in the drawers, obviously the leftover utensils that I don't want in the utensil holder, like for not necessarily for everyday use, but just because they're bulky. Like for example, this, when you sit it in, it gets caught on everything. So even though I do use this on a daily basis, it's fine just to kind of sit in here. And again, like things like this, it just gets caught on everything and it just makes it a really bad user experience when you go to take something out and 10 things come tumbling out of the organizer. So I'll see how that goes there. Previously they were stored on that second level down of those double-decker stacking things, and it was really inconvenient to go and try and find stuff and access it. So I think it's going to work better just being here. So sometimes when you're decluttering, it's not necessarily about getting rid of stuff, but it's also just about finding better homes for the stuff that you do use according to how frequently you're going to use it. So that is what's going to work for me for now, and then if it doesn't work, I will just try and find something new. I just love when you open up your cutlery drawer and it's just got just the things you use and love. And one of the great things that I did, not so recently, but since we've been here, was I just switched out all of our cutlery, got rid of all of the kind of mismatched stuff and just went for one single style, which just makes it look so much easier. It's all dishwasher safe obviously, so it just goes through the dishwasher. Next down is just where I keep all my crockery, and I know people ask me all the time when I'm emptying the dishwasher in videos and things, why do I keep my plates and crockery and things in here? The glasses down here, this is my kids' preferred size. I like a bigger glass, they like a smaller glass, so it's just down there so that they've got easy access to it height-wise. But for the plates and things, there is literally not another cupboard in this kitchen that is wide enough, and we only use small kind of entree size plates, but that will fit a plate in it. Literally you can't fit it in here. there's no, like, you're not going to be putting your plates in above there where it can get greasy from the cooking grease. And that's a bit ridiculous. Obviously, if you've got kids, you're not going to be able to get anything down from there easily. So we just want to be putting it into the drawer, not entirely conventional or not normal, but it works for us. And just like all the same white range, but just in different sizes. So just a quick look in the decluttered drawer. So cleaning cloths, obviously, that I use all the time. Then the lesser used or bulkier items from the utensils that I decluttered. And then just some aluminium foil and some baking paper. We don't use Glad wrap in this house. I don't want to use single-use plastics wherever it's avoidable. And I think that for saran wrap or Glad wrap or whatever you want to call it, there's just so many other options. So you can always put it into a reusable container or use something that is a better option like paper wrap. And then down in the bottom is just where I have things like for my kids' lunch boxes and things. Obviously they've gone to their dad, so they've got some of the containers. Hopefully they come back. And then just those plastic reusable spoons and things which they will use up if they do take food that requires a spoon or a fork to school for their lunches. And then just in the bottom here I've also got all of my mason jar storage, and some of those are just storing little things. Like this one has just got the kind of corn holders, so using your storage as storage, which is great. Alright, so now I'm just going to do a quick film in the mirror trick. So yesterday I shared on Instagram the start of the desk makeover, or the whole kind of office space declutter and organize. It's got some cords out because obviously I'm transferring to the computer to edit. Really happy with how this has turned out. Obviously just keeping it nice and clean and white, and just going through and decluttering a whole bunch of that. And then also last night on Instagram, I just shared with you, I had a whole bunch of cords that were in this drawer, really driving me crazy because half of them we don't even use, and just really not practical or organized. So a lot of people commented and said, what's in your drawers? So I have in this top drawer, and I just gave it a quick clean up and organize, things that I use kind of on a frequent basis. So obviously some chargers, guitar stuff, essential oils, tea light candles, batteries and battery charger just here, just matches and a lighter, and also a bulb which I changed out when I bought that cool bulb from IKEA. In the bottom drawer here I have rearranged it and I've reset all the gaming consoles out here. Previously that was in my boys' room, but that's been sort of taken away. So out here now we've just got the Nintendo Wii games and accessories, and then all the PlayStation games and accessories. And I think in the back there's also some of the kind of Nintendo handheld consoles. So that is what is in there. In the top one here is where I have all of the DVDs and CDs that I want to keep. So obviously I have gone through and I've done a really big cull of all of like kids videos and gotten rid of all of that, but these are movies that I really like and I want to hold on to them. And also some CDs that I keep just kind of for sentimental reasons. And Tony Robbins' Personal Power that I've had for like, I don't know, like 25 years, probably more. Went to a Tony Robbins seminar when I was, I think, 21 maybe. So yeah, that's more like 23 years ago. And I just keep that and listen to it every now and then. So in this one down here, I decluttered all of the cords and just got it down into one little container. Microphone and microphone cables that I use frequently, just like a head massager and a massaging thing, some things for my kids, and all of the Dyson vacuum attachments. This isn't how it's going to be staying, but it is just good enough for now, because when I find a kind of basket that fits in that space there, I'll probably relocate that down to it, but that's just fine and how it is working for me now. In these top ones we just have some like different games, board games. These are mostly like brain training type games, just random little things, Cuisinart rods, dominoes, and kind of a Jenga set. And then in the next one down is where I keep all of my kind of card games and things. So I bop it, and then just all of the card games that I catch up with them. We usually have a games night. Haven't had one of those for a while, so we'll have to book one in. And then just under there is my backgammon set. Just some magazines and kind of cooking things, catalogues, the IKEA magazine, the Howard Storage World catalogue, some books kind of for decorative purposes, the 2 gaming consoles. And then under here I've still got these 2 because I haven't figured out a place to put these things just yet. But in one it's just filled with all the arts and craft supplies that I have in my home. So if it is arts and craft supplies, it is just kept all contained into this one container. And I am definitely not a DIY or an artsy crafty kind of person, but every now and then my kids do need it for school projects or whatever they've got to do. So it's just nice to have it all kind of tucked away in there, and it's just a random collection of anything that is basically related to arts and crafts. So obviously not using it on a daily basis, but you know, I don't want to be repurchasing all this kind of stuff every time my kids want to have it. So it's just all kept nicely contained in this box. It's the Cougars range from IKEA, and this is the largest size I think that they've got, and it's got with an optional tray that you can also purchase. So it's really great if you do have arts and crafts supplies that you want to keep contained, and it's just clean, it's minimal, you know, it's not too offensive, but I do want to eventually switch these plastic ones out for something that's a little bit more decorish, like a basket or something. And then just in that one there, I've just got all of my kind of personal keepsakes and mementos and things like that. So I'm quite happy with it being contained into that size. It's not, you know, taking up too much space, and every once in a while I'll go through it and just get rid of stuff that, you know, I no longer want to keep or hang on to. So again, that is that whole area and whole storage cupboard decluttered, cleaned, organized, just gone through. Like I said, some stuff won't be staying there forever, but it's just there for now, and that is how it will just have to do.
Highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
So now we are up to the very last cleaning and organizing, and this is the closet or the wardrobe space that's in my main bedroom, and this is the last of the things that I need to go through, declutter and organize. It actually doesn't really need that much decluttering. I know it looks really messy because when I pulled out my vanity from my room that used to be there, I literally just pulled everything out, everything from the bathroom when I decluttered that, and I just randomly stuffed it in here just as a holding space until I could have the free time this weekend to go through it and clean it and organize it. Like I said, it doesn't really need decluttering because everything in there I know I use. It just needs organizing. And a couple of these things will just need to be rehomed. So that is the last of the house pretty much, I think, that I'm going to be decluttering and organizing as part of this 2020 life reset. So I'm going to get stuck into this and I'll show you when it's done.
They were in high school when they met, and things got kinda awkward. With sparks in the air, he would stare at her in class, and she would try to act cool. But it was obvious, like, ooh.
So hopefully filming the voiceover like this works. Someone actually asked last time I posted a video if I could just do like not a voiceover but just speaking to the camera. And normally I would prefer to do that because it cuts out having to do a voiceover on top of filming videos. But obviously your house has to be really quiet, so you can't have, you know, the TV or music going on in the background. If my kids are over here, they're just way too noisy to be able to make that possible. And also the sound quality, hopefully the microphone on the camera is going to pick it up well enough to be able to not have to record a voiceover. Well, I'm going to be organizing, decluttering, cleaning out the cupboard in my wardrobe or in my closet. Obviously when you have a small space, using that word obviously again, you have to kind of, you know, store things that you wouldn't normally store in your own wardrobe. So obviously for me, God, I need to stop saying that word, obviously. I store my big Dyson barrel vacuum cleaner in the bottom shelf of my closet because I just simply don't have anywhere else that is big enough to store it. So the laundry has nowhere to store a big vacuum cleaner, and the closet in the hallway is just too narrow. It's not deep enough to be able to fit. So this is the only place it fits, basically. So that sits in there, and then I have my home filing system, and I've previously used like big bulky filing cabinets. I replaced to this filing system about 5 years ago now, and I literally have not looked back. I think I've actually got an old video from when I shared my paper filing system. But it's just these crystal file boxes which are portable. They're super convenient, and I'll just bring you to have a quick look at what's inside, because this literally, if you do not have too much paperwork that you need to store, this is amazing. So I just have them in these kind of crystal file things here, and I only keep the absolute essential things that I need to keep. So I've got one for personal, obviously for house, finance, tax, and anything work related. And then obviously in the back there, I just store things like birth certificates, passports, and all those kind of ID related things. The other one up here that I've got, I just keep all of my kids' school keepsakes. So anything that I want to keep for them. So either their class photos, report cards, any of their work that they get sent home, you know, and it just gets stored in there. So you're limited to just being able to have just that much stuff, and this is well and truly much easier to be able to shift and move around than if you had a big bulky filing cabinet. So if you do want to reduce your paper clutter, I would highly recommend using this crystal file storage system. It has worked perfectly for me for the last 5 years, and it's really great because whenever you need like an important document like a birth certificate or a passport or anything at all like that, you just know it's exactly here, and you're limited obviously to the amount of stuff that you can keep. So you have to, you know, you're kind of forced to declutter all the time, which is great. And honestly, not ideal that you've got to store them in your bedroom, or in my bedroom in this case, but you know, it just takes up one shelf. It's, you know, it's nice and clean and tidy. It's not particularly offensive to look at. So they just sit in there, and that is the whole house paper storage sorted just here. All right, now with the rest of this stuff, like I mentioned, I have gone through and decluttered all of my kind of hair care, makeup, beauty not too long ago. I also have a video on this channel where I did all that decluttering. So for now, it's just more of a case of just organizing it a little bit better and then just putting it back into the shelves in a more organized way, because like I said last week, when I took out the vanity from my room, I just chucked everything basically as quickly as possible just to get it out of the way into this cupboard, and now I'm paying the consequences. So now I'm forced to declutter and organize, and hopefully it won't take too long. I think it looks worse than it actually is.
They would be together. Ooh. And one day she said, write me a love song, 'cause I know you'll make it beautiful. And maybe I'll call you my sweetheart and promise nobody can steal me away. Then I am yours, 'cause I want you and I wanted you to know.
So that whole process took about 35 minutes. I've just regrouped it and sorted it into all the containers, just each one holding a different type of stuff. So that is pretty much how it looks, and it's not 100% perfect, but it is 1,000 times better than what it was, and it's all, you know, it's all organized and neatly arranged in a way that it works for me, and I know where absolutely everything is now. So that is good enough. And then in the bathroom, I just got distracted and was cleaning out all of my travel cases, so I pulled everything out, and that is just going to sit there. I might either put it into another one of those storage containers and pop it in my bathroom, or in my bedroom, sorry, or once I have cleaned out those travel cases, just pop it back in there. It usually just stays in there so it's ready to go whenever we hopefully can travel again, which should be sometime in the next couple of weeks, which I'm really looking forward to going on a little trip, take the boys on the school holidays, just somewhere. So the borders aren't 100% open in Australia yet, so the interstate borders, but we can travel within Queensland, and actually the Queensland government is promoting travel within the state. Obviously tourism has had a big hit since COVID-19, so I'm definitely looking forward to going on a little trip away with the boys. Maybe as a reward for decluttering all of my stuff, go on a nice little weekend trip away. Or actually it doesn't have to be the weekend anymore because I don't have a 9-to-5 job. Woo! So that's even better, because then you get obviously cheaper rates through the week than you do on the weekend. So might pull them out of school for a day or two and just go somewhere within Queensland. And if we do go away, or when we do go away, not if, when, I'll be sure to take you along with me, because I love watching holiday and travel vlogs from other people, so definitely keep an eye out for that. Oh man, just when I thought I was finished, I literally just found another bag of crap. So this is all the stuff from my office that I have cleared out from my desk, which obviously I have to go through and do a bit of a declutter. Hopefully some of it can just get thrown out. And this is the current state of everything that has been decluttered so far. So as I have been decluttering things and going through everything that I want to keep, but I just need to kind of rehome it or put it into storage, I've just been putting it there for the moment. These are pretty well decluttered. I can go through them further, and then they usually sit in this cupboard here, which is currently just housing all of my cleaning supplies. So I'm going to be pulling all of that out and storing it in my laundry. And then when that's into the laundry packed away, I can return these storage containers, which just fit perfectly in those storage shelves there. So I have removed all of my cleaning supplies and replaced it with the first aid kit and the kind of vaporizer thing. You know, when you get sick, you put stuff in there and it vaporizes. I've just put those 4 storage containers back, but the cleaning supplies, which I will show you, that is going to have to wait for the next video because we are like literally at 45 minutes and I am not going to take this video any longer. Otherwise it is going to take a hot minute to upload to YouTube. And I still have this whole situation to deal with. So this is all, and like I could legitimately do a whole video just on decluttering and organizing just my cleaning supplies, which I have done actually before. So this is going to have to wait until part 3 of this whole declutter and organize with me. So guys, that is it for this video. I do hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope you've got some motivation. I hope you like this new format. I really enjoy just kind of talking to the camera and just kind of chit-chatting. It definitely makes it a lot easier than having to come and edit and then film and record a whole voiceover. It also kind of gets it more like personal feeling, I think, so it's greater for engagement. So if you did enjoy it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this channel. I will be seeing you at some point through the week. Not exactly sure about the upload schedule just yet, but it'll probably be like Wednesday with another video. So definitely subscribe and make sure you hit the notification bell because a lot of subscribers don't get notified by YouTube if I've got a new video unless the notification bell is on. Have a fantastic week, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye everyone.
He looked at her and then he smiled, picked up a pen and paper and started writing. Probably something about her eyes and how they're always shining, or something cliche like